Welcome back for another episode of my assignment breakdown series where I delve into my life as an assignment photographer and explore images from a specific assignment in my career, all while harshly critiquing and reflecting on my past work. Today, I'll dissect my assignment covering the monumental 1,000-year anniversary of Hanoi, Vietnam for the prestigious New York Times. But before we dive into those details, let's give a huge shout out to my friends over at Printique, my go-to printer supplier both personally and professionally. I've been using them for many years and I absolutely love them. Thank you for making this episode possible. More on them later, but just for now, print your work. Do it, trust me, it'll make you a better photographer. For those new to my channel, I'm Justin Mott, your guide through the world of professional photography filled with self-deprecating humor and hype-free content, all while wearing funny hats like this one. If you're into that, hit that subscribe button and join our little community. So now let's rewind to 2010, a pivotal year in my career where I found myself consistently shooting assignments for the New York Times and other prestigious publications, but the New York Times was really my go-to client and they kept me extremely busy. Okay, so the assignment was to capture the 1,000-year anniversary of Hanoi. I was a few years into my career, which I started here in Hanoi, and I'm still here 17 years later. At that time, I had a decent reputation. I had about 25 assignments under my belt, and they were using me regionally, not just locally. And back then and now as well, I suppose the better you were, the farther you traveled. Also, if it was a bigger story or a writer was traveling to a certain country and was going to do several stories in that country, that writer might ask or nudge for a specific photographer. So being close to a staff writer was important, but being really good at your job was the most important part. If you were average, you shot locally. If you were great, you shot globally. For the most part. At that point in my career, I earned my way into the global category, or at least the regional category. And I did this by putting a lot of hard work in. I did it by marketing myself more regionally than locally. I used to always list myself, and I still do, as Vietnam, Southeast Asia, and beyond. I also made myself valuable by having a good relationship with the writers, and I did that by just busting my butt on every single assignment. I always came back with images. No matter how hard the access was, I didn't have an excuse. I also shot video, I collected audio, which was a thing back then, for like multimedia slideshows. I helped with access, I helped with reporting. Basically, I was good and versatile at my job, and I was rewarded for it. Funny how that works. So I was traveling a lot for them back then, all over the region, but this assignment was in my home, which was nice. It was a breath of fresh air. Well, not really, because it was Hanoi, and Hanoi is rather polluted, but you get it. I think it was like a 2-day assignment, but I could be wrong. They pay you per day, so longer was always better. Back then, I was using my Canon 5D Mark II and my trusty Canon L-Series 35mm 1.4 lens. I was in the zone back then with that setup. I did a lot of work, a lot of assignments with just that setup. That 35mm and shooting my assignments with just that focal length really transformed me and really made me who I was as a photographer. I did a whole separate episode about prime lenses and how it shaped me. So before I show you guys more images, just a quick moment to thank Printique for sponsoring this episode. I use them to fulfill all of my print store orders on my professional print website. I integrate them with my Squarespace online store. It's simple to set up, it's streamlined, it's easy to use, but most importantly, it's trust. It comes down to trust. I trust their quality. I live in Vietnam. I'm shipping prints in the USA, so I can't be there to approve the quality of my prints, which is my reputation. That's a whole lot of trust, and I completely trust them. I've never once had a complaint from my customers. All right, so my approach here was this was the 1,000-year anniversary. It was an official event, had all sorts of official ceremonies and a parade and stuff like that. The New York Times has a subscription to the Associated Press, so they could pull those types of like official shots from them. And I was allowed to work the outskirts and allowed to see what I saw and capture what I saw. Most of my assignments, travel, news, business, most of my assignments are technically just like paid street photography, but with a theme. I feel like I was shooting street photography before street photography was cool like it is now, but that's what I do on my assignments. I shoot street photography and I look for shots that fit the theme to the story that I'm working on. That's essentially it. So lots of flags out there, lots of t-shirts, lots of signage celebrating the 1,000-year anniversary of the city. I just walked around, I observed, I captured, and just repeat. For some reason, back then, I was into like tilting my lens, my horizon way too much. I have no clue why. It was just like a lot of my shots were tilted, which is fine to shoot that way if like you're down on one knee, but I would deliver them that way apparently as well. They were crooked. I know my editors must have been like, why is this dude shooting crooked so much? Still have no clue why I did that. Still have no clue why I didn't fix it in post-production back then, but I did it. I'm not proud of it, but I'm here to admit it. I tilted my horizons. Sometimes I think I still do. I captured a lot of the prepping for the parade the day before, then the moments after the parade, the moments afterwards, the moments others rarely see. Another reminder in your photography, it's always like a great little like mantra to have is show me something I've never seen before or show me something I've seen in a different way. So a lot of times people don't see what's after the parade. Rehearsals for events and rehearsals for parades are also great for a couple reasons. It gets you a feel for the layout of things, where things are going to happen and where you need to be to capture those moments that you might want to capture. But it also gives you an opportunity for moments from perspectives you might not get on the day of with the big crowd. And of course, this is all clear in my caption. I'm not saying like I would ever fake the rehearsal for the real thing. And the big stress of the day is I always need that one lead shot, that if you can only tell the story in one shot. And so this is what my editor chose. It's what I had in mind when I took this image as well, which doesn't always line up, but it happened to in this assignment. So I was happy about that. The shoot was a ton of fun. I remember it very clearly. It's the exact type of shoot that I like to do. Just like have a theme, wander around and go shoot. And you guys out there, you amateurs out there, or even you pros that just want to practice your skills, sharpen your knives, sharpen your lens blades. Give yourself little assignments like this. It's a great way to get better. And you don't have the stress that I had of like having to get that shot. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed this series. Hope you enjoyed my new little setup here. I've got a little tighter with my lens. Got my Leica posters in the background. Got a new light that I'm going to review by Hobolight back there. Thank you to Printique for sponsoring this episode. You guys print your work. Don't forget to check out my online store. I've got a few slots left for my December Northern Vietnam Photography Workshop. We have 5 total students only. There's a few slots left. Book it now. Come join me in Vietnam. Let's have a great time. Let's wander these streets. Let me show you guys Hanoi. Let me show you the northern mountains of Vietnam. Check it out. It's a fantastic workshop. You're going to get better, and you're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to have a wonderful day.